Hello girls, it's Monday. No, I haven't returned to the United States early. No, I didn't suddenly get incredible internet connection from Uganda and then transport my entire room with me to the village that I'm living in. This is an emergency video that I'm making for the All Made of Awesome channel in the event that one Monday our Nerdfighter friend or one of you viewers out there didn't get a chance to upload a video or forgot to send it in or there were technical problems. Whatever the case may be, this is the emergency video to play, should there not be a Monday video. I like to cover all of my bases. I don't know what this week's theme is, so I'm going to vlog to you about something that I've often referenced but never explicitly, I think, talked about in great detail. And that is my love for one painter, Vincent Van Gogh. By the way, Sarah Michelle, I have to say this Vincent Van Gogh mug is my absolute favorite, tied with my Shakespearean love mug, which is covered with love quotes from Shakespeare's plays. Now, what I'm explicitly going to talk to you about today is the greatest myth that is associated with my favorite painter, Vincent Van Gogh. Myth number 3 about Vincent Van Gogh: he is not French. Nope, he's Dutch. Yes, he lived in Paris. Yes, he spent most of his painting career in Arles, France, which is in the south of France, but he's not French, he's Dutch. He tried to speak French fluently, and when he decided to start his career as a painter, he was determined to speak only French because it was very much the language of the artist's world at the time. The center of the art world has moved and shifted and changed throughout time. Currently, it is arguably New York City. Now, before it was New York City, it was Paris, and this is the reason why Vincent van Gogh was determined to speak French, because during his lifetime, Paris was the center of the art world, and the center of the art world that he really wanted to be a part of, and that was Impressionism. Which brings me to myth number 2 about Vincent van Gogh. Vincent van Gogh is not an Impressionist painter. Van Gogh is what we would call a post-impressionist painter. Van Gogh, along with his once roommate Paul Gauguin and other famous painters such as Paul Cézanne, are post-impressionist painters. This means that they took themes that were prevalent in truly impressionist works, like Monet's paintings, and transformed them into something new, into something different. So they are a reaction to Impressionism, which is why they're called post-impressionism. Currently, in the art era, we are in something called postmodernism, because there was the modern era, which really is arguably like the 60s up through the 80s, and so the 90s to pretty much today is postmodern because we are reacting to the modern art. So Vincent van Gogh, not an Impressionist painter. Up until Impressionism, all art was very regimented and stayed within the canon or rules or guidelines set out by former artists, which is why Monet is such a revolutionary artist, because rather than painting exactly what he saw, he painted his impression or his reaction to what he was seeing. And this is so pinnacle because everything that followed Monet and the other Impressionist painters has revolutionized what we think to be as art. Now, Monet is not the only revolutionary painter. That's a conversation for another time that involves talking about Joseph Turner and how there were lots of movements within the art world that were starting to revolutionize this whole idea of art simply being a depiction of reality and making art as realistic as possible. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about the number 1 myth about Vincent van Gogh. This myth, which you've probably already figured out, is that he cut off his ear for a lover. This is not true. There is some truth in this myth, as generally there are truths within these lies, but it's been warped and twisted in a lot of different ways. Now, what is for certain, and what is cool about this mug, is that his ear disappears as hot water pours into it. Yes, Vincent van Gogh cut off part of his ear, and it was part of his right ear. Vincent van Gogh and his then roommate Paul Gauguin got in this huge argument one night. They were so intense in their fighting and in their vigor that both of them tried to inflict harm on the other. Vincent, it is believed, tried to kill Paul Gauguin, but Paul Gauguin pushed him off of him and ran away from the house in a fury, and Vincent, so upset by what he had tried to do and so upset by the argument that he decided to turn this anger and this desire to inflict pain on himself, and so he cut off a chunk of his ear. He never mailed it to anyone. That much we know for sure. Now, you know, the exact details of what happened are kind of fishy because Vincent van Gogh was very much mentally ill for much of his life, and the letters that he wrote to his brother Theo, which are the documentation that we have of his life, are one, written in very poor French. Remember how I said he was trying to learn French? Well, he didn't speak it very well, and he never used punctuation in his letters. So already it's this broken language, and we don't really have a cohesive start and stop to every sentence and to the start and stop and all the ideas illness and he was mentally ill, so we don't know how much of the stories that he wrote were true. Comparing the account to Paul Gauguin, again, very fishy, don't really know what happened, but most art historians agree that this is the reason why Vincent Van Gogh cut off part of his ear. It was not because he was in love with someone and wanted to mail it to her. This doesn't mean that Vincent Van Gogh didn't have many lovers. He did. Anyways, I just want to say that I think Vincent Van Gogh is so much more than his mental illness and so much more than his art, but why his art is so alluring is, one, it's really good, and two, Vincent Van Gogh really channeled so much of his depth in feeling and pain and love into his art, and that makes it very compelling. And so, if you want to study Vincent Van Gogh, the point of this little vlog is to encourage you to get the facts and to learn that there was so much more to him. I hope next week you'll have an awesome guest star on All Made of Awesome, and I know that I'm assuredly having an awesome time in Uganda right now, which is weird because I'm recording this like before I even leave. But other girls, I hope your lives are awesome. Sarah, I hope traveling around Europe is great. Candace, I hope the new job is awesome. Jen, I hope you're having an awesome summer and have found a job. And Sarah Michelle, I hope the internship is going very well. So, allons-y! And I will see you on the other side.